So let's move on from that. Who here hated high school? Anyone hated high school? Yeah, a few people. Fantastic. Who here had a class in school they absolutely hated? What was the class they hated the most? Anyone have one? Judith. It's maths, is it? Maths. What was it about maths you disliked so much, Judith? You're hopeless at it, you still don't understand it. And so what was the teacher like that you had back then? Was it a good teacher, not so good? A little bit like that?
I didn't get on with him.
You didn't get on with him, okay. Alright.
I think he was quite a reasonable teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. I mean, why do we need to know maths these days when we've got computers and smartphones and that's easy for us, right? Disagree? Okay. Alright.
Yeah. We'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there, okay. Thank you for sharing. Give Judith a huge hand for sharing. On this side of the room, who here had a class at school you absolutely hated? Anyone have a class you hated? Your name is, yes? Tracy. Tracy? Tracy? Tracy, what was the class you hated? Maths as well. And what was it about maths for you that you hated so much? Still don't understand it. Are we talking like the more advanced maths, like trigonometry, or are we just talking like 1 plus 1? I'm sorry? Plus and minus are okay? Like fractions and algebra and all that sort of stuff.
Just times and division.
Oh, times and division. Times and division, okay. Alright. And so, was your teacher okay though?
No, terrible.
Oh, terrible teacher.
Yeah.
She had the double whammy.
Yeah.
You didn't like the maths and had a bad teacher as well.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Give Tracy a huge hand for sharing. Now for me, when I was in high school, I had to study a particular language. And I didn't get a choice, I just had to go and learn this particular language. Now this is no slight on this culture, on this language. I wish I paid a bit more attention nowadays. But when I was at high school, I had to learn French. And back then I was thinking, why the hell do I have to learn French? And so I would sit in class with my arms crossed at the back of the room. If I could get away with it, I'd put my feet up on the seat. The teacher would be that way, I'd be facing somewhere else, be rolling up bits of paper, throwing it at friends, and not paying attention at all to the teacher. Playful out with me right now. Show me, how would you sit if this is the worst class you had to sit through? Playful out with me. If this is your maths or whatever it might be, how would you sit? If this is the worst class. Let me sit like this. How would you sit? You're like, can't wait till the bell rings and can't wait till this is over. I can see some of you are naturals at this, you've done it many times before. Alright, you can all sit up normally now. Thank you for that. Now, who here had a class at high school that you absolutely loved? Anyone have a class you absolutely loved? Let's go. Yes, next to Tracy, your name is?
Brenda.
Brenda.
Yeah.
Brenda, what was a class you absolutely loved at high school?
English.
English. What was it about English, Brenda, that you enjoyed so much?
I was good at it.
You were good at it. Fantastic. Did you have a good teacher as well?
Excellent.
Excellent teacher.
And they really believed in me.
They really believed in you. Fantastic. So they believed in you and you sort of rose to that occasion and you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so has that, I guess, the skill of deconstructing novels or creative writing or whatever, the English lessons that you learned back then, has that carried through in adult life or?
Yeah, because I'm probably a good writer and...
Okay, so you're a good writer now. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Give Brenda a huge hand. Share. To this side of the room, who had a favourite class? Your name is?
Sarah.
Sarah. Sarah, what was your class you absolutely loved?
Theatre.
Theatre. Theatre and drama. What was it about theatre and drama, Sarah, that you enjoyed so much?
See all sorts of different people, even though you were one person. So I don't know, it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. You get to try on sort of different masks or different. Yeah, fantastic. And did you have a good teacher as well?
I believe so, yeah.
You believe so? Yeah, fantastic. And do you have that sort of theatrical side to you now? Is it sort of carried through?
Yeah, I think it's done me really well because I'm in sales. So
Okay, so you can wear many hats. Yeah, fantastic.
I'm sales person.
Fantastic. Great, well thank you for sharing. Give Sarah a huge hand for sharing. So for me, my favourite class in high school was, I went to a high school that offered psychology, and I was like, oh, fantastic, let's do that. And so in psychology, I was still back then trying to be one of the cool kids, but in psychology, normally I would sit at the back of the room because that's where the cool kids sit, and so I thought. But in psychology, I didn't care about being a cool kid, I just wanted to learn as much as possible, so I was sitting up the front. The teacher was standing at the front, I was in the front row, leaning forward, writing down every single word that she was saying. I was just waiting with bated breath. I was like a sponge for information. I'd go up to her and ask, can I read ahead? Can you give me more challenges? Can you what else are we going to do tomorrow? Can I do more exercises? What can I do? I just could not get enough of it. I was just leaning forward when the classes were on and just taking plenty of notes. Show me, how would you sit? This is your favourite class. If this is your theatre, or this is like whatever your favourite class was, how would you sit? I'd be like this here, come on, give me more. How would you guys sit? Play flatly right now, how would you sit? If this is your favourite class, you couldn't get enough of it. Well, when you sit like this, it actually does impact your learning potential as well. And so, when you can sit normally or however you want to sit, or you can stay like that if you like, it's up to you. But when you are in a learning situation, your physiology actually will impact the amount of information that you retain. And so if you think about how we were sitting earlier with that class that we didn't like, you are listening passively. As long as you're in the room. As long as you're in the room, you may not be looking at them, but as long as you're within earshot, you are still learning. Your unconscious mind, now you're going to hear me refer to the unconscious mind quite a bit. If you prefer subconscious, to me they're interchangeable terms, so I'm just going to call it unconscious moving forward. You just need to translate it if you want subconscious. But your unconscious mind is like a tape recorder. It's recording everything that's going on in your life and everything that you are perceiving, even the things that you aren't consciously perceiving. So even though you're focused on talking to a friend over here, within earshot of the teacher, you're still actually learning. But you may struggle to recall that. It's in there, but can you get it out? However, if you engage in the learning experience, if you change your physiology or you change your stance, you will start to increase your learning potential. And you will learn approximately, if you get into a fun, childlike state and you focus on your stance, you'll learn approximately 25 to 30% of the information being given. So the next S refers to stance. In Perth, you guys say stance, don't you, or stance? Stance? We've got a stance then. I think I'm hearing stance. It's New South Wales and Adelaide, I have to say stance. Melbourne stance, Adelaide stance. Perth stance. So you want to focus on your stance. You want to focus on your stance and state. Now, I'm assuming that you want to learn more than 30% this weekend. Is that right? Yes or no? Yes. Fantastic. So we'll go through the next few steps as well.